This is going to be our 1900 calorie meal plan. Yes, on sticky notes that are no longer sticking to the fridge. We're going to do a veggie scramble with toast as our first meal. We'll walk through what that looks like. Then we will put together our Greek yogurt with blueberries. That will be kind of either a mid-morning or an afternoon snack, or meal number 2, or call it 4 if you will. We'll have chicken thighs with brown rice and broccoli as our third meal. Then we have these 3. We have Gatorade pre-workout, intra-workout, and then chocolate milk post-workout. This is going to be our nutrition. This is going to be our workout or exercise nutrition protocol, so to speak, right? So before our workout, 30 minutes before, we'll have a little bit of Gatorade powder. Then intra-workout, we'll also have the same thing, is that some Gatorade powder. And then post-workout, we'll have a glass of 1% chocolate milk that you saw in the grocery haul. Finally, we'll have a dinner, and the dinner will vary, but essentially what we'll do is we'll do green beans and potatoes probably throughout the majority of the week. Then we'll just swap out the protein source. This for the first half of the week, we'll do salmon. For the second half of the week, we might do some chicken burgers, and then for like Saturday and Sunday, we might, do something else that we go get, or yeah. So that's our 1900 calorie meal plan that we're going to break down right now. All right, so let's jump into the grocery haul for this week's meal prep. Now, as a dietitian, I want to take this opportunity to lay this out in a way that shows you guys how to not only meet the calories and macronutrients, but also to make sure you're getting all the vitamins, the minerals, the fiber, the antioxidants. And how you do that is by eating the food groups, right? Lean proteins, whole grains, low-fat dairy, fruits, vegetables, all of which we've kind of got laid out in this cool little grid here. So let's jump into that right now. Again, the goal wasn't to bore you with a list of ingredients that I bought for this meal plan, but instead, here's how I want to highlight this and use this as a learning opportunity for you to take away when you're developing your next meal plan and you're making sure that you're getting all the vitamins, minerals, fiber, antioxidants that you need. So here's the spread, here's the tea, right? Here's what you need to know. You've got these 6 sections, and I think there could actually be 7, and we'll go through that, but we've got 6 sections here. Our low-fat dairies, our fruits, our whole grains, our proteins, our nuts and our seeds, and our veggies. If we consume a majority of our foods, 85% of our diet, through these types of foods. It doesn't have to be the exact, they can be strawberries, they can be bananas, they can be sprouted bread, or they can be brown rice or oats or quinoa, whatever you want to do in that section. They can be chicken breasts, they can be turkey, ground turkey, right? Lots of variations in those sections as well. Nuts and seeds, again, and rinse and repeat that same philosophy for our vegetables. This is going to provide us with all of those nutrients that we need. So making sure that a majority of our diet is coming from these foods. Not to say that we can't have some fun foods or desserts or treats and include those in our diet and still be on track with our health goals. No, that's not to say that at all. It's just a majority we want to have from, this is what might be referred to as the quote unquote whole foods. This just gives us a little bit more context and guidance to follow by. So all that being said, for instance, like each group is going to provide a specific amount of a specific nutrient that might be harder to find in another one. For example, right, this section here, the calcium section, is what we could call it, right? Because this is where a majority of our calcium, our vitamin D are going to come from, are going to be our dairy products. Then we can say from our whole grain side of things, like this could be a really big significant source of our fiber, in addition to our B vitamins, in addition to our healthy fats. So that might be hard to find. Like you're not going to find that in your fruits necessarily, or you're not going to find that in all within your lean proteins or all within your veggies. Making sure that the goal here, right, is what I'm trying to say is that, right, by including these in your diet, you're not only getting the calories and the macros, but you're getting a little subset of nutrients that are really important for our bodies to run. Let's go ahead and get into making this 1900 calorie meal plan. To start out all the meal preps that I do, I always start with making sure that I'm washing, preparing, cutting all of my vegetables before I'm messing with anything like my raw meats. That way I'm preventing any kind of cross-contamination of any bacteria from the raw meat to the vegetables. So that's the first order of business, is let's get these veggies prepped. Now that I've got my vegetables prepared. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting things that are gonna take me a longer time to cook. Let's get those rolling. So like, for instance, the brown rice for this lunch recipe, I'm gonna go ahead and get that cooking. And then next I'm gonna go ahead and break down the potatoes to make sure that those get in the oven and those are cooking, because those are gonna take me a little bit longer to cook as well. Meanwhile, I can work on other things while those are cooking. So that's my plan. After this, we're gonna go ahead and get into each recipe and how we're gonna make that, the serving size, the portion size, all that fun stuff, so stay tuned. For the potatoes, don't do anything special. It's a 5-pound bag. I will essentially, sometimes I'll peel them, sometimes I'll leave them as is. And then what I'll do is I'll just chop them up. For the time being, I'm doing probably like a 1/4 inch and then breaking this all down, throwing it in the oven. We'll show you that and then more. Cool, so we'll do about 50 grams total there. Then you can kind of season this how you want to, but I like to use some garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, some salt, some pepper, and finally some chili powder. Nicely seasoned, we'll go ahead and mix that. Starting off with our first meal of the day, we're doing a veggie scramble with toast. Starting with the scramble specifically, we're doing about 2 whole eggs, 150 grams of egg whites, about a 1/4 cup of bell pepper, chopped bell pepper, a 1/4 cup of chopped onion, and a 1/4 cup of fresh chopped tomato. In addition, we're gonna add about 1 cup of fresh spinach, and we're gonna top it with 1.5 ounces of low-fat mozzarella cheese. Starting with our first protein, we're gonna go ahead and cook some of our eggs. And hit it with a little salt and pepper. This meal one, and it looks like we're running about, this one specifically, closer to about 53 grams of protein, 54 grams of carbohydrate, and 16 grams of fat. And I mean, 28% of our fiber, good percentage of our calcium, good percentage of our iron. So, I mean, this is a really well-balanced meal overall. Okay, so when it comes to meal one's carbohydrate and grain source, we can have like 3 options here. So we've got oats, we've got shredded wheat or cereal, milk, and we got whole grain, you know, maybe doing some toast. For this example, we're gonna do some toasts, and this meal plan we're gonna use toast, but just know that you have options here when it comes to this. And this is where like seeing like repetitive things on diets, oh, this gets old after a while. Like, you have other options, make other swaps, start, you know, let bread run its course for a couple of weeks, let oats run their course for a couple of weeks, so on and so forth. So you can have some swap outs as you're going through and you don't get completely burnt out or, burnt out I think is the best word here. So, let's do this. Okay, so we got meal one here. We've got spinach, onions, tomatoes, eggs, egg whites, a couple pieces of toast, a serving of the mozzarella cheese, all giving us about roughly 575 calories in the range of about 50 grams of protein, 54 grams of carbohydrate, and 61 grams of fat. We're gonna go into a more detailed breakdown of each of the meals as we go on. But yeah, for calorie and macros, this is a great first breakfast, tons of volume. Like, think about how full you'd be after eating this meal, right? I mean, chances are you're gonna be pretty satisfied. So nonetheless, tons of nutrients, tons of protein, like tons of fiber, like just a really overall balanced meal, in my opinion. So let's get into the meal number 2. Okay, so we're on to meal number 2 here. This meal is actually really simple, easy to throw together, just some assembly. As you can see, we have Greek yogurt, blueberries, and then kind of your choice of, we have sunflower seeds or we have chia seeds. And so this is the combo that we're gonna make for this next meal. And as you can see, like, we're trying to get some protein with our Greek yogurt, but we're also getting some calcium, a small amount of potassium as well, right? Another source of a few other nutrients that are kind of hard to get. Then, right, again, carbohydrate source mainly, that's what we're after, but also has has fiber, also has calcium, also has potassium, small amounts of iron, but antioxidants, really healthy, right, overall. And then we have we have sunflower seeds, the puppy's moving around, vitamin E, fiber, magnesium, some minerals as well, chia seeds, really healthy sources of fats, fiber, again, right, so you can see, we can kind of see what we're going for here, right, we go kind of calories, macros, and then micronutrients. Again, just trying to reiterate this idea of what is good food choice, what is healthy, right? It's not that these are the nutrients or the foods that you have to seek out. This is an example of a way you can put it together and more or less a lens you can look through when you're developing your own meal plan. Okay, so for this one specifically, we're looking at really decent macros and calories here. 329 calories, roughly 25 grams of protein, 49 carb, 7 fat, 48% of the fiber, and I think this is under mine, so that's for a man, so that's even higher. Yeah, just overall tons of nutrients. So let's get into breaking this one down. So we're starting out with about 200 grams of Greek yogurt. We did get vanilla flavored. I think you can get plain and it has 18 grams of protein. It might be a little bit higher, but for sake of tastes, we went with vanilla. So again, about 200 grams here. We got my scale out. It's about 119, 21, 60, 70, 80. Cool, there's 200 grams. Then we're gonna do a full serving here, and as we can see, a serving on this guy is gonna be 140 grams or 1 cup. Try and be accurate with our measurements, so we'll do 140 grams. We got the scale out anyway. So we'll tar that out, we'll go 140 grams. Overshot it a little bit. Boom. And for the sake of making it interesting, we'll put half and half of the chia seeds and this on here. So we'll put 10 grams of each. We'll put 5 grams of chia seeds, then 15 grams of the sunflower seeds. There is our little concoction. We've got Greek yogurt, 200 grams, 140 grams of our blueberries, chia seeds, some sunflower seeds, and this is what, 350 calories, 25 grams of protein, good amount of fiber, antioxidants. Chef's kiss, this is perfect, right? That's meal number 2. Okay, so we're on to meal number 3 now. And as we did earlier in the video, we actually prepared our brown rice ahead of time. So that's already been cooking for a while, and we actually added our broccoli to the top of that. So that almost 2/3 of the meal is already done. All we have to do is prep our protein, which is our chicken thighs, and we're gonna do that on the skillet/burner piece right here, and then throw that meal together. That's, again, super simple, super easy. Batch prepping your proteins, batch prepping your carbs, chopping up your veggies, and cooking them with your carbs. Like, it doesn't get easier than that. Again, we'll break down the nutrition information. Great, let's jump into this one. All right, so I've got my chicken thighs here, got them kind of opened up. I'm gonna head and season them with this Santa Maria's cracked pepper and herb seasoning and see how that turns out. I will say, like I know that chicken thighs are a little higher in fat and not as lean as like chicken breasts. They are a little bit more flavorful and they're a little bit cheaper than chicken breasts, and that's really why I went with them this week. They're just so much more cost effective, especially if you're eating a high protein diet. And I mean, like anybody, you're on a budget. You want to save as much money as you can. So, yeah, that's why I'm going with chicken thighs this week. And you just, you kind of adapt your diet and your meal plan to that. Again, right? There are no hard, fast rules. There's no, like, yeah, I'm giving you a meal plan. This is a structure, but I want you to take away that when you are actually thinking about, like, okay, what could be my protein sources? Oh yeah, chicken breast would be great, like super lean, whatever, but holy smokes, it's like $8 a pound right now or whatever, like I don't want to buy that. Then you have the option not to, and you can say, oh cool, pork's on sale this week, that's pretty lean, I can make that cut of pork work, whatever, right? It's like, just roll with the punches a little bit, and then you'll be doing just fine. These are all looking nice and crispy. Go ahead and pull those. Awesome. Now that we've got our chicken cooked, we have our rice cooked, and we have our veggies steamed, we can go ahead and just throw together our meal number 3, probably that lunch meal. So let's put this one together. For meal number 3, we've got our chicken, we've got our brown rice, and we've got our broccoli. It's gonna give us about 455 calories, 42 and a half, call it 43 grams of protein, about 50 grams of carbs, and 10 grams of fat. We're gonna do about 125 grams of chicken thighs, 150 grams of rice, and about a cup of broccoli cooked. So we'll go ahead and start with our rice here, about 150 grams, a little bit more. Perfect. Go ahead and add in a few of our pieces of chicken here. Perfect, 125 grams there. And finally, we'll add in some of our broccoli. Try to get at least about another 100 grams of broccoli. Perfect. So there's meal number 3 for this 1900 calorie meal plan. Okay, in addition to the 4 meals that we're gonna have throughout the day with this 1900 calorie meal plan, we are also gonna include a pre, intra, and post-workout nutrition. So there's gonna be 3 components to this. So the first component is having some carbohydrates and electrolytes before we go work out. So this Gatorade G Series powered is perfect. It's pretty much the powdered version of Gatorade. And so what we'll do here is before we go work out, we'll do 1 1/4 tablespoons of the Gatorade. This will give us about 23 to 25 grams of carbohydrate. So we'll drink this 30 minutes to an hour before our workout. In addition to, right, we'll take another one with us. During our workout, we'll have the same thing. So we'll have another 1.5 tablespoons, which is roughly about 80 calories per shake, and roughly, like I said, 20 to 25 grams of carbohydrate. We'll mix that with about 12 to 16 ounces of water. Drink this one before, take this one with us to the gym. Okay, so then once we get back from the gym, we're gonna have about 8 ounces of chocolate milk post-workout. So that way we've had roughly, right, give or take 50 grams of carbohydrate leading up to our workout and into our workout. The grams of carbohydrate in 1% chocolate milk, that is roughly another 30 grams of carbohydrate with a few extra grams of protein, really helping us fuel our workouts and replenish the glycogen and amino acids that we need coming out of our workout and then going into the next day as well. So this is the workout regimen for this 1900 calorie meal plan. You've got roughly 170 calories for our milk, another 160 for our pre-intra workout nutrition of our carbohydrates, about 160 calories, so about a total of just over 300 calories, mostly carbohydrate with a little bit of protein and this very, very small amount of fat. Okay, so now that we have our salmon cooked for meal number 4, we're gonna go ahead and add, remember we did our baked potatoes. Now that we have this, we can kind of just partition this off to whatever dinner protein we want to do for that day. For this 1900 calorie meal plan, we will add about 150 grams of potatoes. Got our scale here. About 45 grams, 67, 95, 124, 125, 162, 150. Right, portion size isn't too bad on this guy. So we got our piece of salmon here, and then we had our vegetables we can add to that as well. So for this meal, we had some green beans, which you can pretty much just steam each night. So you have some freshly steamed green beans and you have something like nice and hot. I do leave the stems on there because I'm lazy. Boom. And that way, when it comes to meal 4, I mean, how simple is that? We got our air fried salmon, 150 grams of potatoes, our green beans. It's ready to roll. We can assemble it further if we want to. We can leave it kind of as is if we want to and just kind of roll with the punches. So yeah, this is meal number 4. All right, so we have our 1900 calorie meal plan laid out in front of us here. Starting out with meal number 1, we've got some scrambled eggs, veggies, and whole grain toast. We've got, for meal number 2, we've got Greek yogurt, blueberries, chia seeds, and sunflower seeds. Meal number 3 is going to be some broccoli, some brown rice, and some chicken thighs. Then we have our workout nutrition protocol where we're doing a serving of the Gatorade powder pre-workout, in addition to having another serving during our workout, giving us some carbohydrates and fuel to get us through our workouts. Then after we're done with our workout, we're gonna have about 8 ounces of chocolate milk, giving us not only some carbohydrates, but some of those amino acids and protein as well to help us recover. Finally, we're gonna end the night with some sort of protein. In this case, we've got a salmon, we've got about 150 grams of baked potatoes, which we went through, and some steamed green beans as well. So this is the 1900 calorie meal plan. And feel free to mix and match things as you like. This isn't written in stone. This isn't the way it should be or shouldn't be. Please feel free to swap out ingredients, swap out different proteins, different carbs, different everything. I gave you a few options throughout this video, so I hope this was helpful. As we close out this 1900 calorie meal plan, I wanted to provide a little bit more context on the overall nutritional value of this meal plan in and of itself. Like I said, there's 1,000 different food combinations that you can put together that make a healthy meal plan. This is just one of those options. But with that being said, I wanted to go through with you guys and go through some of the nutrient information of this specific meal plan. So overall, this meal plan provided about 1,918 calories, about 139.7 grams of protein, 250 grams of carbohydrate, and 44 grams of dietary fat. Looking a little bit further, this meal plan provided about 42 grams of dietary fiber,